Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Afternoon Tune. I'm your host, Josh, and with me is I got my Black Avenger right here, my own Black personal Black Captain America. I got KC. What's going on, man?
To your left, what's going on? How you feeling, man? Thank you for having me on again. It's an absolute pleasure. I go by the name K to the C, DJ K to the C on Twitch. One half of the Back and Out podcast. Other half is Akil G Comedy. Make sure you go check out my cousin. He's on there. But no, man, I'm happy to be here. Happy to talk it up. Happy to have a little afternoon tune with you.
All right, man. Hey, I like how you did that, man. I like how you brought my name up there and kind of sum up there. Well, good for you, man. You have been on in a while. Last time you came on was during the whole Kendrick Drake beef there that happened. You reviewed For All the Dogs with us there. That was also nice. It's been a minute, man. Did you listen to Drake? Got a new album out right now. Have you listened to it?
He does. Yeah, he does. It went in one ear, out the other this morning when I listened to that thing. I don't know. It didn't have anything very impactful for me on that. I got to listen to it again. It had a couple of lines that I liked. I liked the album cover. That was dope. I don't know if you caught the buildings that it got in the background.
There's some controversy. Somebody say he stole that.
What they're talking about he stole is Freddie Gibbs does the whole rabbit cartoon thing, and Freddie was like, yo, they jacked my whole thing. But the buildings are Mississauga, the west end of Toronto, okay, where a Party Next Door is from. So, you know, it's dope to see the Toronto love in the album, hear it, and see it on the cover.
Okay. So, all right. So, yeah, I heard there was some little controversy with that a little bit. Okay.
Yeah. But there's always controversy when you're at that level of entertainment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, it's a joint album, collab album with him and Party Next Door. I heard Party Next Door really isn't on it all that. It really feels like still more of a Drake album than a Party Next Door album. But
it does. Party's more of a writer, so he kind of played the back. It felt like, and Drake has been sounding like Party for so long. When you're hearing Drake on this album, it sounds like it's Party. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to tell the difference between the two. Unless Drake is obviously doing a rap where he does the song where we talk about Joe Budden, and that popped on the internet a lot today. But when you're hearing them, they sound very similar because Party has been a ghostwriter for Drake since The Weeknd left, right? So that's been a minute.
Yeah. Well, I heard people call it the OVO sweatshop. Sometimes he'll bring artists on, sign them, just to kind of use them for writing ability, because that's how kind of like The Weeknd seemed like a little bit at first, because he wrote a lot of Nothing Was the Same. He wrote
or was it Take Care? Take Care. He did Take Care.
Take Care.
That was basically him. Yeah, that album is classic in my opinion. That's basically him.
Yeah, some people say that's his best album. Drake's best. That's still Take Care.
I would say, yeah, I'd say it's up there. That and the other one that the other ghostwriter did. If you're reading This Is Too Late, that surprise mixtape that he put out, that was impactful too. That was great.
Yeah. So I don't know. Do you think Party Next Door just never escaped the OVO sweatshop like The Weeknd, or what?
No, he has a successful career in his own right. I don't think he is a personality that wants the attention like your average attention hoarding celebrity personality would want, if that makes sense. He is more play the background, chill guy. He's like a Lloyd Banks. Like he can go bar for bar for bar for bar. But he doesn't. He's not the guy who's going to be on stage doing the dances with the dancers in the back behind him, fireworks shooting off his name. He has to be like pushed to keep doing it. You get what I'm trying to say?
Okay.
So it's not really a sweatshop thing. Every major artist that you see had, like Dr. Dre, Jay-Z, all these guys have had a group of people behind them or collaborating with them in the booth. So like what Drake did was just a blueprint taking from the other top excelling artists. So the sweatshop thing's funny, but you know, it's something that all the greats have done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, speaking about Drake, there was the halftime performance. Did you see the Super Bowl there?
Oh yeah, I watched that.
Well, first, what did you think about the game there?
The game was boring. It was good to see, but I didn't have a horse in the race really. I just like Kansas City because the KC name, you know what I mean? KC, Kansas City. You know, so ever since I was little, I was attached to that. Seeing a football team with my name on it, it's kind of dope. You know what I mean? But the game was kind of. I like a better back and forth, not a blowout, especially for a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So watching this was like, okay, I was watching. I'm like, yo, if they don't get a touchdown by half, they're done, and they didn't get that touchdown. So I was like, okay, this is a wrap. It's over. But the halftime show was coming up, and that's what I was really watching for, and that's what I was most anticipating. So yeah, that was electrifying.
Yeah.
That
So
was
apparently it is the most watched halftime performance ever.
yeah,
102.5 million people. Because I think the average viewership of the Super Bowl itself was like 126 million. So an extra 7 or so million people tuned in to watch the halftime show.
that's
there
magic, man. Yeah,
to watch.
look what hip hop did.
Yeah, I mean, to watch what he did. And so with all of this, with the year that Kendrick had last year, plus
Historical.
with the cherry on top, with the halftime performance of the Super Bowl, is Not Like Us. Is it the best diss record of all time?
It has to be. It has to go down in history as the best.
Mm.
It has to. What else? What else could? What else could? What else touches that?
I mean, I've never seen a diss record win 5 Grammys. I've never
Me
seen
neither.
Also help him land a spot after Super Bowl. And that was some controversy that people brought out with the kind of his Super Bowl performance. How much do you think Not Like Us, the feud with Drake, contributed to him getting the Super Bowl? Because you think he would have gotten there anyway without the whole feud with Drake? Eventually, he probably would have got there.
I definitely think he deserves the halftime show. He has way too many songs for 12 minutes, and he would have got there anyways. If it wasn't this year, it would have been anytime soon, because he's more than deserving of an artist. How many hip hop performances have you seen at the Super Bowl other than Dr. Dre's?
What year was that with Ludacris? It was Ludacris and a bunch of other people.
For Pepsi, that's when Pepsi was trying to get back Ludacris's love, right? Because they dissed Luda back in the day. I don't know if you remember that.
What they do with Luda? What happened?
Oh man, they boycotted it. They stopped his. They hired him for something, and then he had some little controversy, and they fired him. And just because he was a rap act, they didn't like the way he looked. You got to look it up. But they did something to Luda back in the day, Pepsi, and then that was like their like, okay, let's be cool again type of thing. So they rehired him.
Yeah. So
Luda, when was Luda?
He joined with Usher. That was the Usher one last year.
So he was a feature in that.
Yeah.
But who was the first of like what Kendrick just did with hip hop?
It was Kendrick.
Like who was the biggest? It's Kendrick.
Yeah, he was the first. He's the first ever rapper to headline,
like to do it.
Like
all him. That's what I'm saying. Like Dre had to bring Kendrick, 50. You know what I mean? Mary J. Blige in 13 minutes. Like what Kendrick did was historical. I know people are on the fence about how they feel about it, but he did art in the Super Bowl, and that is absolutely incredible. What I saw, I was blown away. And with a new album too, he didn't have to bring up the old hits, the classics that he has. He didn't even have to bring those up.
Yeah, that's another thing people were talking about because he mostly played GNX. Mostly was his there, and his set list got leaked of what.
Unfortunately,
what he was going to play there. So that was a shame. But just you're right. I mean, what they did with the whole staging of it, he brings out Samuel L. Jackson, who's Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
And what that kind of what did you think the show was kind of supposed to represent? Everything kind of what was going. What did you kind of think? What's your theory there?
I know there's a million theories online. I kind of stayed away from a lot of them, but the whole division in America and the world, and people have to come back together. And what he's trying to do is he can't bring the whole country together, the whole world together. He's not our hero. He's just a guy. And what he's trying to do is at least bring together the people that he grew up with, whether they're Bloods or Crips. The division, if he could bring that together, he's happy, I think. And I think in this show, he was showing that. And then it had the hype of the "You Not Like Us" part, you know what I mean? But I think that's what he was trying to show in his show, because a lot of GNX is about stuff like that too, right? So it's uniting Compton.
Yeah, he had like the dancers who were like white, red, and blue, so it's like the American flag colors there.
Yeah, and he was in the middle of the American flag, like they're divided. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then you guys have the conservatives. What do you guys call you guys? What do you guys?
Right wing. Yeah,
right wing. Yeah. So he had that divide with the colors, and just like Bloods and Crips are divided. So it's very symbolic what he did in that. It was art. It was art.
And then the stage, and this is like, so when Kendrick does stuff, you know, you got to go back and break it down and Easter eggs and shit like that. Like it's a goddamn
fine tooth comb it. Get the fine tooth comb, you know?
Like it's a Marvel movie within itself. Like hell,
yeah, you got to get the fine tooth comb out.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like that scene in Spaceballs. You know what I mean? You gotta get out there with that comb and dig there,
Yeah.
uh, because yeah, you gotta figure it out. And even like channels that normally do Easter egg breakdown videos for Marvel stuff, they're doing it for Kendrick Lamar music videos. And
Yeah, I think
so
New Rockstars had a video. I didn't watch it, but I saw that they posted something. So
yeah,
that's something to say that it really did impact. That's the point of it, I think. And hip hop impacted the everyday person, and that's big.
yeah. Somebody pointed out. So there's some things that I saw that people pointed out that I didn't watch because I think you have to really go back and watch it again
Mm,
on YouTube to get it. That somebody mentioned like the Apple Music, like the stadium itself was all lit up in red. Somebody said that could be like the big red button that Drake was talking about. Like it could have been that.
could have been.
Um, Somebody was talking about the stage itself is a video game controller, so
Yeah,
it
the
actually
PlayStation controller.
it's a PlayStation controller, so he's playing a game. He's like, this is all just a performance. And then with Samuel Jackson, being Uncle Sam, being this kind of narrator for this story that he's kind of telling within these minutes of like, don't be too loud, don't be too ghetto. So he's already pre-planning what people are already gonna say
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
about Kendrick Lamar performance, and people played right into that after the performance. He knew already that
Right.
that was gonna happen there.
Right.
Um, I will say I was a little disappointed there. I mean, yeah, sure. I would have loved to hear songs off of, To Pimp a Butterfly. I would have loved to hear songs off of Good Kid, Mad City.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to say, if I had to guess what would be on if I didn't know already coming in, I'd be like, oh, he's probably gonna play, maybe All Right. He's gonna play He's gonna play, maybe Backstreet Freestyle or Money
Mm-hmm.
Trees. Bitch, don't
Yeah.
kill my vibe. Maybe. Were you a little disappointed he didn't play any of those type of songs there off of like To Pimp a Butterfly or Good Kid or Deep Cut from
Nah.
Section 80 or something?
Nah, because I'm a person that already been to his concerts, and I would say to people, go to his concert. This is a preview of his talent and ability, and he showed all that in this. He didn't have any hype man on the mic doing the backup for him. He was just holding the mic doing rap. He was emceeing and controlling the crowd. He was dancing kind of while moving with the crowd. He displayed his skills, and that's what you got to do. And he was, like we're the old people now. You got to realize all the kids that watch this, my nephew watched this. They all were on the songs, on the music right now. And Instagram is instantaneous. Facebook is old now, you know what I mean? But Instagram is the new. So like the instantaneous, these songs are all kind of what is the zeitgeist right now. So hearing him do this album, it makes sense because it impacted the kids, the 13, 12-year-olds who are all hype up. If you watch the videos online in the little football parties people are having, they were jumping up. They were going crazy because this is the new medium. You don't have to like Super Bowl never had a rule. Super Bowl just got popping because In Living Color got good. That's when they started really touching up their stuff. They never had a rule that you have to do your biggest hits. We're just older and we're caught in this habit of what we've seen before. But who made that rule up? So Kendrick breaking the barrier of that and doing what is now is actually more impactful and better to me. With a banger of an album, why not? Now everybody's going to go listen to that album that he's making more royalties off of and not those other songs that TDE is making more money from.
Yeah. And
Smart.
somebody
It's
mentioned
smart business.
that his music spiked after
Absolutely. Yeah.
after the performance there.
Like last year, Usher tried it. Usher put out an album before the Super Bowl. If you remember, that album tanked. You know what I mean? It flopped. So he didn't display those songs in the performance, but I'm sure that was part of the strategy to put out an album a month or two before, build up a little bit more momentum and energy with that music, and then display it on the stage of the Super Bowl, and then take your tour and go off with the tour. And Kendrick's strategy mirrors Usher's, except Kendrick had the success of a banger album. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then they could change their performance to critique it to that album. So now those songs are getting more money. It's all business.
And Humble, by the way, just hit double diamond, which is
amazing
rap song to ever do that. And
yeah, that's awesome.
Right. Kendrick Lamar's Drake diss track sees huge 430% spike in Spotify streams after Super Bowl 59 halftime show. Lamar's entire catalog saw a 175% boost, and he became the most streamed artist globally with SZA also gaining significant traction.
I have one problem with the performance. One thing that I would have, if I could have just had anything happen, if I could control the narrative in real time at that time, I would have had it where Drake is actually on stage when Not Like Us plays.
Like some like person playing Drake, like a Drake actor or something like that.
No, like actual Aubrey Graham on stage while he's performing the song. And then they shake hands, slap it up, you got me, and then they could just end it there. You know what I mean? Like, I wish it happened like that. Like, Drake just take the hits, admit defeat, and just move forward. And then everything right now, the projection of both these artists would be on a better perspective for the audience, to me. Like, instead of everybody just negatively digging at somebody or over digging Kendrick Lamar's every move.
Yeah.
I know it would never happen though. But
the only issue there with the performance, I did think his audio, I think there was troubles with the audio. Like, he sounded kind of low. The music kind of overpowered him a little bit. That to me, but going back and listening to it like on YouTube, it sounded fine. You know, going
they
back
fixed it.
Yeah, so I think that was a issue there for me. And then so that was kind of the only real major problem I had with it was kind of just that. And I saw it later on in YouTube, and it was fine. It was fine on YouTube there. But yeah, the crowd, I mean, it went up for Not Like Us. You know what I mean? Did you like him teasing it, or some people said they didn't?
I love that. No, I love that. I love that. That was the best. That was one of the best things. The way he was kind of, the way he teased it was great. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and the whole crowd screaming A minor. That was wild.
Yeah, I got a lot of thoughts on that though. Like, if he was really doing the things that Kendrick was saying, this is not a joking matter. You know, this is not a song that people should be like doing at a performance on stage. They should really be investigating and looking into this. But America's America, I guess, right?
Yeah, well,
the show goes on.
Drake said in Heart Part 6, like, I'm too rich to be a pedophile. So that's what he said. So.
That's the craziest thing, though. That was so dumb. What are you talking about?
Like, I'm way too rich to do that. So like,
I heard that. I was like, oh, what are you doing, bro? People around him got to help him write better or something. Got to hear the stuff. Got to be a tie in his crew, you know, to keep it real with him.
What were some of the craziest narratives you heard about afterwards? Because mine was like with Serena Williams. People said like, you know, because she also made a guest appearance on there, and she said that, oh well, she's just crip walking because she's just trying to get Drake back, or she's mad about her ex and all that other stuff. When I don't understand, because Drake talked about her and her relationship. You know what I mean? In a record.
Yeah, he brought it out first. Yeah.
So I don't get that. So what were some of the craziest narratives and stuff like that you heard?
I don't know about the crazy narrative off the top of the head, but when I was watching the performance, seeing all the people jump out the car like it's a clown car, it kind of took the integrity out of the GNX. To me, I was kind of laughing when I saw that. You didn't notice everybody coming out the car?
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
that looked it looked impressive, but at the same time, it looked kind of goofy. I was like, yo, what are we about to see here? Like, what is going on? But controversial stuff, the Serena thing. Nothing. Just the controversial thing that kind of bothered me is the way that narratives can be spun on Instagram and all these social medias. How some people were saying, oh, the crowd looked dead, the crowd was boring. And then you'd see other posts and you'd see the crowd wilding, the crowd was really into it. I didn't like that people always have to bend the narrative online. Like, they can't just let things just be a moment. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I mean, and people who, you know, if you don't like it, if you think it's mid, that's perfectly fine. You know, that's okay. It seems like, I don't know, the people who really hate it, or think it's like the people who said this is the worst halftime show ever. You know, there's that meme of people who say that, and it's like a bunch of people wearing sunglasses and
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Baseball caps.
Akil posted it in our Facebook fan page. I remember seeing that, the Back and Out podcast fan page. If you guys want to be a part of that, you know, jump on and don't be sensitive.
Yeah, so you got that, and then Drake stands. I think that's the only people who really just like truly hate it. You know what I mean? I think it's like one of the worst performances.
Yeah, but it's so like people got to just be in the middle and be like, yo, it was a moment, it was great, and we had a time. You know what I mean? But the one-sidedness is just gross. I don't like that part.
Yeah. So, but yeah, for you, is it one of the better ones in recent memory? Halftime shows. If you had to rank the past few ones we've gotten, like the Usher one, the J-Lo Shakira one, the Rihanna one, the Dr. Dre one, what would you kind of do with this?
Dr. Dre was up there for sure, because that was just great to see. That was like he deserved that from time to me from a long time. For a long time, he's deserved it. Yeah, I would say it was probably one of the best I've seen. Yeah, there's the greats like Michael Jackson and Prince. That those are obviously the greats. They're not going to be touched. It's a whole different time now. But for this time, 2020s, yeah, it's definitely up there as the best.
Yeah, very impressive. I mean, because he was the ability to rap and to move around all the way he was, the breath control, the cardio, the lung capacity to do all that is extremely impressive there. And those flare jeans. I mean, hey, he was, you know what I mean, which is going up in sale right now. A lot of people buy those flare jeans.
Yeah, my girl's looking through her storage, her old stuff, because she has a bunch of those pairs of those jeans. She's like, "Yo, what the hell? Let me flip these. Let me get my money off these."
Oh, maybe sell them on eBay. Get a couple.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah, but talking about his choreography, it was great, and breath control. I've been to hip hop concerts where guys like I went to the Baby Chris Brown show, and the Baby just walked from left to right, and he couldn't even keep up with what he was saying. His raps and it was such a boring, slow show, and we paid money to go see that. This guy did this for 13 minutes on live television in front of millions of people, and he sounded clear and concise while moving around with the crowd and synchronizing with backup dancers. No, that's something that all these new artists should look at as a blueprint and a motto to move forward with now. That's why it's great that he's in the forefront of the hip hop culture. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think my favorite was a song I really wasn't expecting him to do was Peekaboo. Loved the choreography, Peekaboo. Love that. I thought that was
probably my favorite part of it too. The way the camera moved and you see the dancers in each portion of the X.
Yeah.
Pops up. Yeah, no, that was amazing. We need a video for that song for sure.
Yeah, I thought that was really well done. And just seeing people just react to it, because the guy who's featured on the song, he was reacting to it, watching the Super Bowl. He's like, "Oh shit, my song!" And then his whole family went up for him, and that was great. I thought that was a great moment.
That was great.
Great moment for him. So yeah, shout out to Kendrick Lamar. I think it's one of the better halftime performances we got.
It's not over though. Kendrick's not done yet. He's coming to Toronto twice. You didn't talk about that.
Oh yeah, you gonna go? You already got tickets to your next tour?
I might have a link. I might be there. Okay. I might. We'll see.
Yeah, I think it's good with him and SZA.
It's gonna be very interesting.
Some people said SZA was lip syncing. What do you think? Did you think SZA was lip syncing?
I wouldn't be mad if she was lip syncing.
Okay.
So what? It's entertainment. She could really sing. She could really write songs. She earned her place to be able to do a little lip sync if she wants to once in a while. I'm not mad at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's not Milli Vanilli or nothing.
I watched the performance multiple times. I gotta tell you, I was looking at some other stuff other than her singing.
Me too. That little fur that she had on the back in the red.
Yeah.
That little fur thing that made her ass look a little bigger. Yeah, no, I saw that instantaneously.
Yeah. So, I mean, she's a beautiful woman, man. I mean, beautiful woman SZA is. So I had that. Do you think if you had to take guesses, who you think is going to do the halftime performance next year? If you had to take a guess.
Where's it going to be?
California. I think they're going to do California.
Back in Cali. A part of me wants a rock band. What's a big rock band now?
Maybe 1975 or.
I would like to see rock again.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. Andrew, you got any suggestions? Oh, you're muted. Yeah.
Let me look up some.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe the Red Hot Chili Peppers, since it's in California.
That'd be dope.
Didn't they already do it?
Although personally, I really want to see Gwar.
Gwar? Who's Gwar? Let me get my search on.
Gwar is this metal band that has lots of puppets. I remember like in high school hanging out during lunch, watching them on Jerry Springer show, eating people in the audience.
How do you spell that?
Gwar. Gwar.
Okay.
They're like Beavis and Butthead's favorite band.
Oh wow. Okay.
They've been around for a long time. Yeah,
I don't think they're gonna let them on the Super Bowl doing this. I don't think they're gonna let them do this. Oh no, they ain't gonna allow this. Nah.
Yeah, no, there's a splash zone.
Oh, I don't think they can do that.
I mean, like I said, personally,
I'll give them a listen.
That's my pick for the Super Bowl, but that's never gonna happen.
Radiant from Maturity has to go in there. Radiant from Maturity. He said Ghost, but they're probably too Satanists to get the job. Yeah.
If they're not going to go for Gwar, they're not going to go for Ghost.
Yeah.
Ghost. Let me follow them. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I made some guesses. I said who's gonna do it. I think one was SZA. I think sometimes a guest performer turns into the person they use the headline. So I guessed her.
Mhm.
Taylor Swift. I keep guessing Taylor Swift. I feel like
Taylor Swift would be a pull for sure that I could see them doing.
one of these years, I feel like they're gonna do her. Bad Bunny was another guess I had, maybe because it's in Cali. Cali's got a big Latino population. Maybe you
That's a good one.
pay
That's a good
tribute
one.
to
His
them.
last album was spectacular too, so I
Um,
can see that.
then usually they'll do like a legacy act, like they had Usher. So sometimes they'll do like a legacy act. So maybe I was thinking for my legacy act pick, Mariah Carey. Maybe they bring Mariah Carey.
Mm.
You know, that might be the legacy pick.
Yeah, and she's still keeping it hot on stage. Like she's still performing. So I know she does the Christmas tour still.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it'd still be unthawed for
work.
Christmas. So
Yeah. And then my other wild pick was Doja Cat. Doja Cat, I think, would do pretty well. There, she can do pop
Yeah.
songs, hip hop songs, singing. She could do that.
yeah, Doja.
Yeah,
Doja's a great one.
yeah. But yeah, I don't know any big rock bands that could come on and do it.
I mean,
Yeah.
rock's kind of passe, as far as popular culture goes. That's fine,
Mhm.
Yeah. So I don't know.
and honestly, like what's I love. I mean, like literally, I just found out Dinosaur Jr. is playing the day after my birthday around here. So like, I mean that's kind of what I usually tend to listen to. But like honestly, what's new in rock? Like there hasn't been anything, and not since the '90s really. So
Has Green Day have they done it? Green Day's done it, right? The Super Bowl.
I don't know.
I can't remember. Let me look it up real quick. I don't think Green Day has maybe done it.
Yeah, Green Day would be a good one.
I could go up to a lot of Green Day songs there.
Mhm.
In it.
See, but that would give like it gives more of an impact. If you're seeing hip hop again, and then like pop, it doesn't. But when you give a genre that needs more of a light, it kind of balances out the. It's like eating a meal. If you're just eating a plate of hot dogs, it gets kind of boring. You know what I'm saying? But if you're eating like a mixture of things on your plate, the meal is really good. Do you get what I'm saying? The interest is still there.
Yeah.
So that's why it's good. I think it's good to bring different genres in and out, back and forth. That's what I was saying. Rock would be good to see again. It'd be refreshing to see it again.
Yeah. So U2. So Green Day did it with U2. It looks like.
See, like that's good. Like the mix like that.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was like 2002. They did that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember Bono had the American flag inside of his jacket, and he like rips it open, and like flames are flying overhead. Oh man, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
See, I would personally, honestly say we all need soca there with some Machel Montano, but America's not ready for that yet. That's too futuristic for y'all, So I'll leave it there. You're like, who? What?
Yeah, I don't know. That lost me.
Soca?
Yeah.
You don't know what soca is?
Yeah, how you spell that?
SOCA. Soca music. It's Trinidadian music. That's my background. So I got.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So like Carnival's coming up, Carnival as they call it in Trinidad in a couple of weeks. That's like the biggest parade
It's like
in the
really
world.
percussion based, right?
Yeah, it's percussion based. It's a mix of everything. It's kind of a mix of disco and African beats from the 70s, and it evolved through dance music and rhythmic flow, and it evolved over time, and it's really big. A lot of people are shocked that Afro beats blew up bigger than soca at the moment because soca's been doing it, but yeah, look it up, check it out. Machel Montano, he's the king of soca, so if you're looking for one of the best top guys, that's an artist to listen to. But he would definitely, if you go to what is that performance thing on YouTube called where they're in the library with the books?
Oh, Tiny Desk.
Tiny Desk. Watch Machel's Tiny Desk. He obliterates that. He gets the crowd moving. He gets everybody going, and it's an energy raiser. You'll feel your pores raise. It's like old rock and roll. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
It does that. It's high energy, positive.
Yeah, I will. So this is it right here. Okay.
Yeah. So this is called groovy soca right here.
Okay.
And then if you go to the later point in it, it gets to the more pumping
Here?
soca. Yeah, the more up tempo.
Okay.
Turn that up a little. This is soca. I don't want you guys to get copyright, so I'll keep talking.
Yeah.
So everything is live. You see the African drums? You see in the crowd? Can't stand still?
Yeah, it started off
That's
a little
it.
bit like Billy Ocean, and then
You see, Billy Ocean is a Trinidadian.
Okay, makes sense.
So he took soca music and brought it to America in his own style, but never bigged up Trinidad the way he was supposed to. He just did Caribbean Queen, and
yeah,
said thank you for the money, but he didn't bring the other Trinidadian people in after
to
America.
Behind them, huh?
A little hard to do in the 80s, but yeah,
he did what he could. He got hired and he was happy for it, But yes, you got it right there.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, that was Kendrick Lamar Super halftime performance discussion there. How's it going there, Andrew? Good to see you, man.
Good. It's great to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad you were able to join us. I'm just waiting on Dusk, Derpy Entertainment there. So there's a review. We are going to be doing a review for Captain America: Brave New World. I got these gentlemen on to help me review this film. Andrew, let people know about you. What you got going on? What you got coming up next? All that good stuff, man.
Yeah. Give them an argument with Ben Burgess is back. I'm on there. We just had very recently my friend Mark from the band Team Driver join us, which was a lot of fun to talk about his music because I only just found it. We only just met like right after the election, so that was a lot of fun. We had tonight we just dropped a clip from our post game where we had another guest who does parodies of he actually sings debates, like he takes the script from a debate, turns it into like a musical number where he's playing both parts. It's a lot of fun. But then we also have like deep conversations about politics and philosophy and that kind of stuff over there too.
Okay, give them an argument with Ben Burgess there, with Andrew, who makes guest appearances on that. Very much appreciate it. Thank you, man. Hello, Dusk. How are you, man? How's it going?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
Pretty good there. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody there on this Valentine's Day. Don't try to spend too much money there this Valentine's Day weekend with that. But we got a great show for you people today. Going to be doing a review for Captain America: Brave New World there. Did you end up seeing Paddington in Peru? I didn't end up checking that out.
I didn't.
Okay, I'll review that sometime. I'll review that Monday then. I'll see it this weekend, so I'll hold off on that review there till I watch it. But yeah, that's the big movie coming out. I'm going to review for that, and then afterwards, as always, I'm going to go ahead and rating somebody. Kara Fly's on right now, and I got Mini Portables on watching that wrestling. She's a wrestling content creator there. So got some good people I could raid after this. Speaking about Marvel stuff, there is Marvel Rivals. Somebody playing that on Twitch right now. That's a big game right now, blowing up, taking a lot of audience from Overwatch. There's that. So I got that going. But I'm gonna go ahead and pull up my notes for Captain America: Brave New World, and we go ahead and get started on this review. And awesome stuff there. All right, let me do that.
Yeah, I actually wrote notes for the film, and I checked them afterwards. And the only thing I wrote down was bisexual lighting.
Okay. Well, we're gonna get into that then. I'd love to hear your analysis on that. All right. So our first and only review of the day is going to be for Captain America: Brave New World. This is going to be a non-spoiler review. I know some people may be a little touchy with the spoiler stuff there, so this is going to be a non-spoiler review. I'm going to do a full spoiler review Monday with my other co-host Nick there, and we're going to get into all that when he gets a chance to see it. There is a character that it does show up here that if you've been following the movie, you would probably know is already going to be in here, but just in case people who don't really follow the movie then or haven't been following production of it, then they'll say, then I don't want to ruin that for anybody there. But speaking about the production of it, that's also been a main kind of topic about this movie. There are tons of articles have come out about a mess that this production was. Even a former crew member, there was a Vulture article that got released of pretty much people. It was such a frustrating set to work on. How many people kind of were like, yeah, this is probably not going to be that good of a movie there. Right now, it's getting pretty mixed reviews. It's at 57% on Rotten Tomatoes. But what is this movie all about? So, in Captain America: Brave New World, you have Anthony Mackie, who is Sam Wilson, who has taken on the mantle of Captain America. He is the new Captain America there, and he has to deal with all the trials and tribulations that comes with that. Here in this kind of espionage thriller type of film, but very much similar to something like Winter Soldier. There's a conspiracy going on here, and who somebody's trying to set off an international conflict here. People are fighting over animanium. Animanium just got introduced into the Marvel universe, and for all the people for all those years, people going like, are they ever going to mention this big ass thing that's in this water from Eternals? After all these shows and movies, are they ever going to bring that up? And it's like, okay, well, hey, there's a whole movie that's built around that of all these countries fighting for who's going to control the resources from this dead celestial that's in the ground here, and who's going to contain the resource animanium. You have Harrison Ford, who is a person that's trying to lead a treaty to have all the countries agree to share it equally. He's playing Thunderbolt Ross. He's replacing William Hurt, who passed away a couple of years ago. And you have him there. And also, you have some other characters in addition to this from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. If you've watched that show, people like Danny Ramirez, who plays Joaquin Torres, and people like Carl Lumbly, who comes in again as Isaiah Bradley. So that's what you're going here. Captain America trying to stop this international conflict there and trying to do great things. All right, I'm going to pass around to you guys and get your thoughts on this. I'll start with you, KC. What are your thoughts on Captain America: Brave New World?
Thank you for the honor of doing this, giving my thoughts first. You know, this movie, I'm not going to tell. Okay, where do I start? Okay, this thing is a mixed bag of good things and really, really unfortunate things. I was watching this movie and it felt like I was watching a Fox 29 TV show at some points that was predictable and kind of boring, and a really good action movie with good action scenes that had me happy. The problem that I had with this movie the most was the directing, the editing. The editing, when you see a trailer like the one you just played, where it has a nice cool line going through the middle, you're seeing cool directive styles happening. A trailer is supposed to give you a taste of what the meal is going to taste like. You know, it's supposed to make you be like, okay, that's the style. I'm into that. I'm going to go see it. It pulls you to the movie to pay. This was complete opposite of what I saw in the trailer. And the trailer honestly showed way, way too much, in my opinion. The actors, they knocked it out of the park. Anthony Mackie, he did parts in this where the dialogue was not that great, but he offered it in such a way that I honestly was like, oh, Isaiah, his character, when things happened with him that we saw in the trailer and his reaction to it, I was feeling it. I felt it. It had in the third act of the movie, it had parts where there was wording from actors and I was like feeling it. It had me feeling. And I was like, this is a really good movie. But there needs to be a time when Disney humbles up, like Apple humbled up, and they put movies, you're paying for their subscription service, put a movie on there like this, and I'll watch it on there and be like, okay, I see why this is here and it's great for here. This should be in theaters. That's what I should be saying. This is so good on my TV right now. I should be seeing this in theaters. Not the opposite, where I'm seeing it in theaters and I'm like, this could be, I could have watched this at home. This could be a bit better. The actors did such a great job. The editing, the director did such a vanilla job. Like, he was so serviceable with what he did. It didn't pop at all. This movie deserved, for being a part 4 of Captain America, one of the backbones of the MCU, we deserved a director like somebody who did the James Bond films, like Solace. You know, like all those classic, the James Bond movies that just came out. Where are those directors? It deserves that sharp, rich look. Like, we had it in a couple of scenes, but we didn't have it the way we needed it. We got good fight choreography at the beginning when it introduced the character of Captain America, but then after a while it started to fall and get lazy looking and kind of tired, especially the church fight scene. And more fight scenes on, it got very, all right, this is not spectacular at all. And Marvel heard what we like. We watched Shang-Chi, and the crowd spoken. We like fight choreography in a popcorn movie, and they didn't deliver really. So, those are my thoughts on it. I don't know if I should wait till the end to give my number score, but that's my pelting from the waist thoughts of this movie. I could have watched this at home, and if it came out at home, I'm already paying for the streaming service. Put the movie out, make me feel bad, make me feel like this was a really good movie. This should be in theaters, not pay my money to go see it in theaters and say, I don't think I could tell somebody to go pay to see this in theaters. Wait for streaming. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, we'll go around a couple more times, and we're going to do final thoughts and then give a rating there. Andrew, what are your thoughts there on Captain America: Brave New World?
I've been doing the whole rewatch of all the Marvel movies, and it's pretty much just somehow I don't understand how they're doing the same story over and over again. The same plot beats. Oh, look, they get a new uniform. Showing up at the end looking all spiffy. Like all of those same plot beats. Which you kind of see some of that in the trailer. There's going to be a new uniform showing up in it. It's whatever. But like. I really was hoping that they were actually going to move the ball a little bit further, especially since like the chemistry between Anthony Mackie and Carl Lumbly was so good. Like they really seemed like they were actual like friends in real life. Like he has good chemistry with Bucky and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like that was good, but like it was scripted and you could, they played well off of each other, with the script, but there was something real about like Carl Lumbly and Anthony Mackie whenever they're just, letting their guard down and just being real people for a moment. And I loved those scenes. I wish we had more of that. I do say that I understand that they did recast the villain in the reshoots, and the actor that they got,
don't spoil it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, like it's everybody's, they're talking about this. He's in the trailers. Yeah. I'd have to say that's an upgrade from a WWE wrestler, so
Seth Rollins, who was supposed to be.
Yeah.
I was about to say,
I don't know. I can't say for, I don't know if I've ever seen anything that guy's been in, but like whatever, like Esposito is just such a, oh man, he always knocks out of the park, even though like there was not a lot in that script for him. He still sold it. So, you're right. Like just shout out to the cast because they did a lot with very little. Even Harrison Ford, who, doesn't really like these movies. He just wants to smoke pot and fly his planes.
Yeah.
And he seemed to also give a good performance. So, maybe there is something about this director. Maybe he's good with actors, but not good with everything else in a big budget film. So maybe he should do some smaller films with people. I'd like to see that. Because like I said, there's lots of great performances in this.
So the director of this movie, Julius Onah, there, and he did other things. He did the Cloverfield Paradox, which I didn't really like that. That was the movie that I think they dropped during the Super Bowl, and then they say, "Hey, check out this movie. It's gonna be on Netflix after the Super Bowl is over." And you went to go see it. It's like, oh, this is actually kind of a piece of shit. Because that was after. Especially the really amazing 10 Cloverfield Lane that the other director did. So it's like you couldn't wait the follow-up. So he did that. And then he has also done something called Lucy. So I'd never seen that.
It looks like a lot of indie stuff, like which is fine. And I might go back and watch that because if he is I thought not 10 Cloverfield Lane. I thought Cloverfield Paradox had some good performances in it. There's nothing there in the script, but maybe he is really good with actors. Maybe these indie films he did before that, they might be actually pretty good.
What's the first film that he did?
The first film that he
scroll all the way to the bottom there.
It's called a movie called The Girl Is in Trouble. That's the very first.
Keep scrolling down a bit more.
Well, is IMDb there?
Yeah.
What do you see?
Oh yeah, I don't know. After Meditations.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it's a lot of like short films and everything like
that. Yeah.
It's a lot of like short films.
Yeah, I don't think he's ready for the big leagues.
Oh, you wanted him to say his first film from 2004, is that it?
Yeah.
Oh. Meditations, a love story. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, got it. Dusk, what are your thoughts, man, on this Brave New World, man?
This movie has had a historically troubled production. This movie has also been reshot, allegedly confirmed. It's been shot at least reshot twice. Unconfirmed 3.5 times. They have 3.5 length movies, and they've just picked the best of what they had. I would love to see what this movie original concept was before we got to where we are now. Because if this was the best that they had from those 3 retries, man, you can just feel every scene going from another feeling. Okay, this feels like okay, we need to stitch this together. Or we need this scene to stitch this together. And you can have individual moments in the characters going, well, this is kind of interesting. We'll see where this goes. Hard cut somewhere else. Hard cut somewhere else. There's no flow in this movie. There's no characters just kind of show up, say a couple lines. We sprinkle some ideas of intrigue, kind of like Winter Soldier, but a very dumbed down, watered down version of it. We have to explain to the audience what is happening, because in ADR they had to, because the movie had been changed so much. You kind of had to be explained to you. That being said, the best thing people will say about this movie is probably Anthony Mackie.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't think he was necessarily the right choice for the captain. They spent 3-year movies of Captain America trying to make it to Bucky, and then at the last minute handed it to Anthony Mackie, and it's been kind of rough since, but he does the best he can with the dialogue he's given, and he's given some rough dialogue. Anthony Mackie is a very talented actor. He's shown his quality more than enough times to show he has a large amount of range. I really wish this was a better movie for him, and honestly, it just shows that what potential was lost in this movie. A lot of it that they were clearly wanted to be spoiled was released in the trailers. They really showed way too much of this movie if they wanted it to be as intrigue specific as they wanted. The actor who plays Isaiah Bradley is also good. He does a good job what he's written with. They do have genuine chemistry. I would say the Joaquin character is a little too light. We don't get to know him too much, and he feels a little forced in. He never quite fully shows his qualities, unfortunately. But all those are smaller details when it comes to just the overall picture quality. And man, it is just all over the place. And the biggest problem I have with this is, at the end of the day, everything they're bringing together, this shouldn't have even been a Captain America film. This should have been a Hulk film. You have so many characters from the Hulk that is in this movie, without even going to spoilers. You have the Red Hulk. You have mentions of certain characters that happened to the Hulk previously. Hulk's mentioned on occasion, and there's just not enough bite here to have really drawn in a Captain America story. It just feels like an add-on, like a bonus that they tried to fill in the gaps with the movie they already had. And that's what this movie feels. It feels like a hodgepodge stitched together mess that they just slapped on the big screen and went, well, you'll watch it. It's a Captain America movie. And I'm sorry. You spent a decade showing me that I should have higher expectations. Really high expectations, honestly. And that's your fault if you can't live up to it. I feel sorry for the director, who I just don't think was ready for prime time, as you said. But I feel bad for the actors. I feel bad for the people who can't talk about. I feel bad for all of it, because clearly a lot of time and effort went into this that was unfortunately just a mess. I will make one comment. There's a character in it that you've seen in some of the trailers who has been very controversial, quote unquote controversial, about whether or not her role was going to be adjusted in it. She is a Secretary of Intelligence for the president, and you find out more about her character. I think she was unfortunately very miscast for the role that she was given. Her stature just does not belie the character that she is trying to play, and that's no fault of her own. That is the director and the casting coach. I'm sorry. It is. I'm sorry, but when there's a hallway scene in this movie, and it happens, and they just show the scale, the difference between 6'2" full geared guys and she is in this quote unquote leather outfit, leather jacket,
Motorcycle jacket.
motorcycle, yeah, whatever BS they want to call a costume, whatever crap they want to call that as a costume, and go, all right, yeah, you can handle this. And I was just like, no, there's just no way. You can't. Immediately took me out of the movie. I was already on like, I'm not really falling. This isn't really going well. And then that scene just alone was just like, okay. And that scene didn't lead to anything else. She just gets one moment to do a ridiculous fight scene. And then it's like, all right, moving on, hard cut.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we got to follow a plan, hard cut. Oh, let me talk to a buddy of mine, hard cut. Oh no, we gotta stop Japan and America, hard cut.
Yeah, I can see the memes. I can see the memes coming out where she's like,
oh yeah,
okay, let's do this, and then she runs, and then it switches over. Some guy just like flick a fly off of his shoulder.
Really does.
You know,
Exactly.
Yeah, you know those Instagram memes.
Absolutely,
yeah, I can see those being made soon.
And I feel so bad for the actress. She was horribly miscast for that character, and it was
Well,
very clear. And her character, I've been told, like everything
Character,
else,
was there even a point?
Yeah,
that
so
character?
so like everything else, a lot of the problems in this movie stems with we're missing 2.5 movies worth of content. Again, this movie has been shot 3 times. 3 times. It has a budget. So that Disney has told, allegedly stated that their official budget, which they've lied in the past, that their budget currently is $260 million. That's a lie. People actually estimate it to be around $550 million, all things considered. Now, I want you to remember that price. That's over $500 million for one movie that they filmed 3 times, sometimes without even a script ready, that they've changed so much. She was supposed to be Captain Israel, a.k.a. Sabra. She was supposed to have a costume, but because of the unfortunate war that broke out recently between Israel and the Palestinians, they've gone, well, we can't do that now because her costume is literally the Israel flag. Now they could change it to her more modernized version, which is the black, blue, and a little bit more of the Mossad style outfit. They could have easily done that.
But which you did almost see in like one scene, I think. Like she had a jacket over it. Yeah.
Yes, it is for like one moment. That's fine, but it needed to be a better costume for it. She was just you could just tell they were going to have a lot more intrigue with Mossad, perhaps have other nations involved of this, be a much bigger conspiracy, because what we get in this movie is very limited. We have only a couple nations involved, and you're like, a lot of these are our allies. I don't know why they would act this way. And there's a lot of communication between characters that just feels, I'm mad, so I'm going to act super childish and not at all ask questions. I'm just going to attack you. I'm like, no, that's not. What? Like, there's a scene, without going into spoilers, there's a scene where 2 people are attacking him. Like, hey, some of our guys go rogue. It's not our fault. Well, who's in charge? Who's commanding them? And it's like, I don't know. Like, you don't know. The fact that I just said a couple of our guys are rogue, the other 4 should have been, okay, are you sending any additional fighters to back them up? No. Okay, we will defend ourselves and help you take them down. Because we affirm that they're rogue. If you're not sending additional support and you're wanting to avoid a conflict and you're basically saying, I don't want to fight you, they're doing their own thing. I'm not supporting them back up. I'm shooting at the same people that you're shooting at. I think we can agree that, hey, but no, for the movie to keep going, we have to have this. And it's just, those are just small little moments, but they pile up. It's a death of 1,000 cuts of little things that just illogical moments, bad script writing. Characters say things that happen and don't mean as like, but they don't actually carry through. We're told things, but never shown.
Yeah.
And it belies, unfortunately, a movie that was shot 3 times, and they've just had to cherry pick what they believed was the best stitching together possible. Yeah. Presumably, I haven't seen the other 2.5 movies.
Yeah. And so you got reports like this. This article came out here. The most tense Marvel shoot here, explosive Captain America Brave New World report details behind the scenes difficulties, including a cranky Harrison Ford.
I'd be cranky too if I had to shoot without a script.
I mean, isn't Harrison Ford always cranky though? I mean, that's
I mean, that's what you hire him for.
I mean, I've met him twice. The man is cranky.
You know,
he's irascible at best.
Yeah, he's pretty much always mad, which actually worked to his benefit here. I think he, as Thunderbolt Ross, as the president, I think it, you know what I mean, constantly kind of barking and growling, and it actually kind of works here. I think, and
Yeah.
he's one of the better things in it for it.
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
You talk about the mess of the production there. Some of the movie being shot so many times, the numerous reshoots, but gave people such a pause there about how many times it was reshot. You mentioned the character there with the character who the actress is Israeli. She's an ex-Israeli. She used to be a part of the IDF there, which is mandatory conscription for a lot of Israeli people there. So that was controversy there with around this movie. There was also controversy around things that Anthony Mackie said about the character of Captain America and
Yeah,
what
in Rome.
Captain America meant there. So there was also that on top of it. Yeah, and you're right with the character of her who's playing Ruth Bett there.
Elizabeth,
She's
who
kind of
is
feels like
Sabra in the comics, aka Captain Israel.
yeah, Captain Israel there. It kind of feels like her character kind of feels like John Carlos Esposito's character, where it's like
Yeah,
you
just
kind of
tacked on.
just tacked on, not really a point there. Like John Carlos Esposito was only in a few scenes in the movie. He's not really. I think most
Well,
of the time you see him
Gus, Carlos Posito, he was literally tacked on. Like she
Yes.
was meant to be there. He was literally added in the latest shootings.
Mm.
So that's why his scenes feel that way, why they feel like just kind of added on Sidewinder and his gang. That whole scenes, every scene he's in was the third reshoot.
I gotta tell you, it helped though. He helped this movie, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, he could like read the phone book and it'd be a great movie.
Sure. But
Yeah.
he's a 66-year-old man trying to go like run up and fight against Anthony Mackie and trying to like, oh, I'm gonna when he there's a moment where he gets hit. I felt that in my stomach.
I don't
I
want to
felt
say
that.
anything, but I was thinking that right now. I see it. He's just like, and he's just down. And I'm like, oh damn, it's paralyzed.
yeah.
It's over.
And I mean, why even get this actor if that's all you're gonna really do with him? I mean, maybe he could come back in some other stuff, but it's just
Marvel
like,
money, baby.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's just kind of a waste of him. Yeah, I mean, what do you think, Andrew? Just kind of there. I mean, because like you mentioned the Seth Rollins who they cut out. There was also another actress, Ruth Salazar, who people might know. She was Alita Battle Angel. She was the lead character in that. She was supposed to be in this as
Yeah, she's
well.
supposed to be Diamondback, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and then they
Which
cut her.
Diamondback was part of the Serpent Society and went on to be Captain America's sidekick for a while.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
So there's
Yeah.
going to be a whole. That's Seth Rollins' character. He was going to be part of the Serpent Society as well. He was supposed to be heading it. There's a whole plot of the whole Serpent Society that just got completely cut off, and then whittled down to only the Gus's character from Breaking Bad. I just know him as Gus. Carlos Esposito.
Yeah.
That's it. So all that entire movie just gone just to be one character Sidewinder and Copperhead, who just gets like wiped away pretty easily in the beginning.
Yeah. I
I
didn't
mean,
even know that
to be
was a special
fair,
character.
Yeah, well, I mean, like they did that with also like Demolition Man too, like
Yeah.
D-Man,
Yeah.
who's an insane character from the comics. He like starts off as a professional wrestler, but like in the superhero league of wrestling, and then becomes like the Thing sidekick, and then Captain America's sidekick, and then he's frozen in ice and becomes a homeless person who's like the king of the underground homeless people of New York, and then becomes schizophrenic, and then they reveal he has a boyfriend, and now he's like a trans counselor in the Marvel universe. So like strange weird history there, but they had like his character was in there very briefly as not even as D-Man, like you don't even get the ridiculous costume, so a little disappointed by that.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why this movie was such a tough nut to crack. I mean, you've already basically done it. This is just trying to be Winter Soldier again, and Winter Soldier still is my top MCU film. I still love it. It's in my top 5. It's one of my favorite MCU films of all time there. And recently I just did a retro review there with Sage from Radiant from Maturity. Did a retro review for Captain America First Avenger, which was 14 years ago. And I was like, wow, this was back in the day. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, this was back in the day when you didn't have to watch like 5 movies and a TV show to understand what's going on. And then here,
I think that's was MCU's biggest mistake, was making people required to watch instead of just having these TV shows as for fun. You didn't have to follow them. They were just one-offs or offshoots. They didn't connect to the main continuity. And maybe if they did later, they just get barely mentioned. This is a character. You already know this character if you've seen the extra stuff. And if not, we're watching a movie with this iteration of that character. Oh, it's that show you like. Okay, they're here now. We don't need to know anything else. But this movie expects you to have already seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier and know who all these people are. Or at least half the cast.
Casey, what do you think about that? Did you think with now we're so far into MCU, did you think that's also one of the things kind of holding it back of you have to have seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Eternals, Incredible Hulk, Endgame?
I think it's a interesting place that Marvel's in, and they're in a place that nobody else is in. And they're currently turning the tides on the unfortunate things that happened during COVID and reshooting of these movies that they probably had to hold on to. And we're just seeing the blowback of all the real issues that they had to deal with on such a expanded universe on such a big scale in the theaters. So it's easy for us to like Monday morning coach this and be like this and that, but it sucks for Marvel and the big vast position that they're in and the fact that they're trying to expand it more. I don't know. I feel bad for them at the same time, but it's still interesting to see. That's why I still like to go see these movies. But this is something we've never seen before. They're expanding this even more and more, which is scary because it's like, okay, it's about time for them to bring something more entertaining for us, the people who are watching. And some of these shows, yeah, they're not really worth having to watch, like Secret Invasion. That was a disappointment. But, it connects the dots to something else. So, yeah, it is unfortunate that it's like that. And I wish it sucks. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, I mean, one of the advantages of a comic book, being turned into a film is that you have examples of what works and what doesn't work. And Marvel had tried a couple of different things over the years to deal with the fact that there's like continuity heavy, which has always been a complaint about comics. Like that's just a long time standing. But this is going to be sacrosanct for me to kind of praise Jim Shooter. But I think he was kind of onto something whenever he said that, every comic book is somebody's first comic book. And Disney should take that philosophy and say every movie is somebody's first Marvel movie. There are kids watching these movies that weren't even born whenever the Iron Man came out. Think about that. So you gotta make these either grow up with the audience, which I think they're trying to do, and they're not doing it very well. But that's not what made them popular. Make every movie somebody, allow it to be somebody's first film. That they can go in there, they don't need to know anything about it, and they can just have a good time and enjoy it. And sprinkle in a little like Easter eggs for like other stuff, but like that's not what it's about. It's about telling a good story. Because the other way that Marvel handled it is they also created the new universe, which was another Jim Shooter idea, which was terrible, which is basically like deep sixing everything that existed and create something brand new. And then in the 2000s, they did the Ultimate line, which was basically trying to just bring back the characters, but with no continuity. So you start fresh. And that's how we got that second Spider-Man, who's Miles Morales. That's where he kind of came out of. But like I said, it's there are ways around this, and I think between just that kind of train of thought of like what did the comics do that were successful and what wasn't, what would work for films, and what lessons we could take from the comics to put into the films. And like James Gunn put out those rules for those DC movies, like the script always has to be ready before you start shooting, and all that. Those like 3 rules he had. Honestly, like it's right there. That's what they were doing beforehand. I mean, like they really just let directors come in there, tell a good story, and then like, okay, we're going to build a few things off here. So we're going to put we're going to ask you to put a few little things in there. They worked out pretty well, I think. But that's because they were like director controlled. And like I said, this, what's his name?
Julius Ona.
Julius Ona. Yeah. Again, he hasn't done a whole lot. I mean, this is like his second big budget thing, and he doesn't have a great track record there. So you're not letting artists go out there and be artists, like
exactly.
Bringing in Chloe Zhao was the right idea with the Eternals.
That's what I was gonna say.
But like,
that's a beautiful movie.
It's stunning. I have
Yeah.
lots of problems with it.
Visually.
Exactly. Visually
yeah,
stunning movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
her mise en scene is incredible. Like just the way she shoots everything at dusk, so the sky's colorful and
Yeah.
the
You get a
colors
full
of
world.
everybody's like grained. It's like
Mhm.
should be reversed in my opinion with the Eternals because it's a fucking Jack Kirby comic. You want the four colors, those bright, vibrant Kirby crackle.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but like the thing is though, it's a beautiful movie, well acted. There's so many problems with it, but I think also that's because I don't think she's ever done anything that big before. And
Mhm.
hopefully she learned a lot of lessons, and her Buffy the Vampire Slayer is going to be great.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Um,
I have a thought of like comic books versus the MCU movies. The comic books we could like look back on them being success because comic books every month they will throw out, like Marvel will do like 30 comics a month. 5 of those might hit. MCU will do one Marvel movie or 2 movies a year now, and if one misses, it feels like the whole year was a wrap for Marvel. Do you get what I mean?
yeah.
So
Yeah,
they don't have the bandwidth to be able to put out the amount of things to keep up with the generational moving. Like we're getting older and older and older. The actors are getting older and older. They can't keep up financially, I think, with the movement of time and the amount of products they would have to push to do what they're trying to do with expanding the universe. And that's what we're seeing. So when this movie, like, it kind of whiffed. Like I did enjoy, I liked it, but I don't think I'll see it again. But like it was like I read a comic, I was like, that was cool. And I put it down, I'll give it to my cousin or something. Check it out. It was all right. But like it wasn't one that I want to plaster and put on the wall and be like, and for this being one of the ones for the year, it looks like, okay, all the comics I bought from Marvel this year sucked. Like, what the hell? You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So that is the disconnect that they have, and the strategies that they're using with the Ultimate Universe when they did the reboot with the more realistic style that they're going with
Mhm.
is now, that was from the early 2000s, and now we're in 2025. So we're in a whole different time now where things look cheap. Putting, like taking things and just, like taking it's a Black Captain America. Let's get a black writer. Let's get a black director just because it looks good for for everybody. We're going to get a Jewish star because we need a Jewish. We have a black, we have a Chinese, we have an Asian, we have this market, we have this market. We see that now. We're older, we're more mature, and we're like, okay, we deserve a more mature story from you guys. We don't need the black actor, black director, black, just because they're black. Let's get the most talented people in the room and get this thing going, not the old style of comics. We've evolved from that. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think that's where the big disconnects are with Marvel.
yeah.
Um,
And the movies also have the advantage of like looking at all those, those 5 hits and taking from those to build
Yeah.
something, out,
Right.
which is
I mean,
Yeah.
fantastic.
also to be
Yeah.
fair, they've had blueprints for a long time that they've avoided. They have 80 years of comics.
Yeah,
80 years.
true.
hmm.
They have so
But
many
what's
stories
safe?
to tell before. They have so many stories to tell that they never even got to before
Yeah.
doing the more quote unquote modern comics, which
Mhm.
haven't sold well because they're
Right.
not very good. And they're adapting those. It's like, hey, before we even touch those and improve upon them, let's do the 80 years of comics that are still out there and do that first. Do the best of the best, cream of the crop, and then move forward. Build a
See,
universe
that's what I
like
feel
you were
like you
doing.
were going with the Jack Kirby stuff when they brought
Yeah.
Thanos in, and everybody was like, "Oh, they're going there! Like they just started, and they're taking it there!" Like
Yeah.
that. If they followed along that instead of trying to play it safe, Disney kids, adults were trying to get all the money. They could have done something way more impactful. I think they should have followed the Jack Kirby blueprint. I think.
They really should have. I mean, also, even when the Thanos situation ended, you can still have a couple of movies that just like, okay, let's just take it down to ground level again.
Mhm.
We need to kind of
Which-
settle down to get some grounding for a little bit.
Which I
'cause
feel
there's
like
gonna be
this
a lot
one
of
is.
collateral, no matter how that went.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, and then kind of revisit and then slowly ramp things up for the ultimate. Well, if Thanos is out there, what else is out there? Now you're asking the right questions.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm
There's a lot
surprised.
out there.
Like you mentioned, the director in this movie, that they didn't just get some of the people who directed Falcon and the Winter Soldier and then had them come on and actually just do this movie.
Yeah, because the
Um,
writer was on the Winter Soldier Falcon show. The writer, I believe, one of the writers.
yeah, Kari Segalin was one of the directors. She was the main director of all the episodes of the 6 episodes of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Maybe she seemed like maybe the better choice to come and actually direct the film version of this. And you mentioned, with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, if you were one of those people who actually, watched that show, how mainstream is that show? Probably like if you're just a general person, coming off the street trying to just go see a Marvel movie, have you actually seen this? And I think that's where it leads to the clunky dialogue where you try to introduce Carl Lumley as Isaiah Bradley, and he has to sit up there and say, "Hello, I'm Isaiah Bradley, and I was in prison for 30 years, and I was
Mhm.
experimented tested on," and that, and then you got Danny Ramirez who's in here, and it's like, who the fuck is this? Listen. If you only just watch the movies, you go, I don't know who the fuck these people are.
Yeah.
Even though I think Carl Lumley does a good job with the limited time he has and giving that character pathos and letting him play there.
Yeah. And
And
the news reporter saying, and that he was just hunting the Hulk, and the Hulk is also the ex-girlfriend of his daughter. It's like, what news reporter would say that? Like it's E.T., you know what I mean? They're just saying everything to kind of catch you up in like 20 seconds.
That one was why I say, why is Captain America even here? Why isn't this just a Hulk movie?
Right.
Like, why can't we have a Bruce? He has it in the comics. Why can't we have a Bruce Banner story where he actually acts like a scientist and has intrigue and is discovering things, and especially when it comes to gamma radiation or anything else, and genetics and anything else, that should be very interesting in his forte and being trying to control the Hulk while also being very intellectual and having to do subterfuge from his time as working with the Avengers would actually be interesting. He'd actually have to use, because he can't just Hulk out or he'd be seen and cause a lot of issues. So it should be, but they don't want to do that because they don't want to pay.
Well,
Warner
there's
Brothers.
actually a good reason why they don't do it.
Yeah,
But
they don't want to pay
it's,
Warner Brothers.
Universal actually, right?
Yeah, Universal. They don't want to pay because they still have the rights.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really what it boils down to. It's that, and it's terrible because I think it's hurt it. You're right, because this is a Hulk movie, where Captain America shows up.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean that's kind of the thing about it. I mean, it's just kind of disappointing. I think Anthony Mackie, if you would look at some of the bright spots of this film, he deserves better than this. I think he deserves better. I think he does make a good Captain America. I do like how they touch on the fact of his counseling experience and the fact that he is good with talking to people. They always reference back to that.
That's a superpower.
Yeah, I mean, he is able to really bring the best out of people and see the best in people. Even though in this movie, you know what I mean, I think he's too friendly with Thunderbolt Ross there.
Feels like a tool at points, right?
Yeah, you know what I mean? He's like, well, he can change. It's like, apparently not. I mean, given the actions of this film, I mean, what the fuck he does is like, no, I don't think he's changed.
Yeah, they're very.
He called you boy. It's like, did he call him boy or something in this movie?
Yes.
Yeah, he does.
I was like, you go like, really?
Yeah.
But
No, he calls
one
him
thing I will say, son, yeah, similar thing. But I love the way Anthony Mackie really felt like full Cap in this movie. He didn't feel like, am I Captain America? Am I not? He didn't feel like I'm past this. I don't want to do this. He felt like confident, full Falcon Captain America in this movie. And that felt good to see.
Yeah, especially after the TV show. Like the TV show built it up, like because that was his trepidation of like, do I take on the mantle? Can I be him successfully? You have Carl Lumbly showing up, saying, no, son, you can't. I kind of I liked that, and that this was a trying to go forward. I wish they had a script.
Exactly.
And there were
it felt like they were throwing this together while they were making it. Like, what could we do? Where can we put them?
They were.
Let's put them here.
They were literally at one point. Yes.
5 writers.
That sucks.
Movie.
That's scary.
Just
put it on. Just put it on Disney Plus for people to watch. Like, put the full 3-hour version or something now.
No,
you know what I mean?
More like 6-hour versions. So
put it on there.
Just put the work prints. Put every work print you have, and just
documentation.
I'll watch and see, and then fans can re-edit whatever movie they want at that point.
I'll go around and give you guys final thoughts and rating for it. I'll go ahead and give my final thoughts and rating. I mean, this movie I think is an incredibly mixed bag. I think the biggest thing about this movie is how wasted of potential it is.
Yeah.
How much it, you saw where it could have been great. Where it could have done a lot with the whole espionage thriller type aspect. Again, like another Winter Soldier type thing. there, and I think they dropped the ball there with all the troubled kind of production of it, and with the numerous writers on this, and just lack of direction for this movie. And people fluctuate between with Marvel of we're so back, no, we're dead again. Oh, we're so back and we're dead again. And this is gonna be the we're so dead again moment until we get the we so back moment again. Which I think that this movie, I already thought this movie was gonna be mid. I mean, the trailers didn't really impress me anyway. So I already this was about what I expected from it. I think the real test will be Fantastic Four. Can you actually crack that and can you actually get that right? Because
Mhm.
as Casey was saying, this was still part of the COVID era of Marvel stuff that they were doing. So this is like the last one of these. So I
Yeah,
think the
so I give
true
it a little
test.
grace.
So the true test of that, I think, will be Fantastic Four. And yeah, some of the performances, like Andrew was mentioning, kind of saved this. With like Carl Lumley, Harrison Ford. I think him being angry and grumpy actually worked for a performance like this, and it actually challenged it well. Some of the characters that come over from Falcon and Winter Soldier, like Danny Ramirez, who's the actor who plays Joaquin Torres. I thought he was a little annoying at points. He was a little too much of like Scrappy Doo of like, let me put like tugging on Sam Wilson's leg, like, hey, let me do it. I want to join. Let me do it. You know what I mean? I can do it. I want to fly. Like, okay, all right, calm down. I thought that was, and I liked him. I thought he was decent in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but here I don't think he fits all that. I think he's kind of a little tad bit annoying. There's some characters that like you tell slapped together. Giancarlo Esposito as his character, he's just thrown in here. The character of Ruth Sabra, who's thrown in here. She really, like you said, she's tiny. Even standing next to other women, she's tiny. I was like, every time I saw, I was like, who let their little daughter up in here? You know what I mean? Every time she showed up
I
on
thought
screen.
I thought it was like, oh, is that like somebody's daughter here or
They
Yeah.
recast the Wasp.
Yeah.
yeah?
There's no special effects. You just put the suit on and there you go. There's no special effects needed. And like, I mean, compare because they say like, well, she's got red room training and things like that. So it kind of gives you a little something. But even Scarlett Johansson, I mean, Scarlett Johansson's a little bit tall. I think she's like what 5'7", 5'9",
She
maybe.
had difference. Way different. You're Scarlett Johansson actually looks to have the figure, and she can
Yeah.
actually do the stunts. And additionally, another example: if anyone had ever seen NCIS, the actress who plays Zeba, she may not be the tallest person, but she does have physicality, and they always were able to shoot her in a way where she was looked taller, so it could work. And that was on a TV budget 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So, but you do have a certain casting where even you have to allow, if you're going to write this background for a character, it needs to be believable.
Yeah.
And that's also the problem I have with they introduced Elena. She also to me doesn't quite have the physique, but she's better than what we have here. At least
Yeah.
I can kind of
Yeah.
sort of see it. It's still like
If
she's still like it's still weird when you see it in full distance. Like, I don't really believe it. But this, she's just so small in comparison. It
but
just doesn't-
this is the thing. This is where good choreography comes into a movie, because if there are things that we could say in the trailer when we see Captain America go against Red Hulk in the trailer, right?
Mm.
That's parallel to this captain that you're talking about, and a 6'5" guy. So if we had good choreography, they would figure out a way to make her an adaptable, like hurting, like a real threat with her fighting moves. Like jujitsu and stuff like that. It's for the smaller person. Knives, weaponry. If they showed her, displayed her in a way with proper choreography, it would have worked for us. But this movie didn't have that. So when we're seeing her do tributes to Scarlet Johansson, it falls on cheap, because then we're automatically comparing her to a woman who is almost double her height, double her build, and we're like, no, it doesn't look right.
And had good fight choreography in Iron Man 2. Like,
exactly. The fight,
Yeah.
and it was clean. You could see it. You could see exactly where she was going and what she was doing. This, it was like tight, and you're like, she just did the thing, like, didn't she? And no way she could pull that. Just horrible fight choreography.
Yeah.
Some of the fight scenes in this, and people say, what about some of the action? I didn't mention that much. It's okay. I think some of the stuff Anthony Mackie does with the shield is okay. Nothing I don't think is as impressive as something like Winter Soldier. But Casey mentioned it, with like, it being this kind of being a show with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's like, this doesn't feel like this is like the big movie version of that. This just feels like 2 episodes of that show back to back that you're kind of watching. It doesn't feel like
exactly
movie version.
Like in the middle though, like or towards the end.
Yeah. Yeah. The sad part is, for this big mystery of this movie, really at the heart of it, for a subject that could have been a global disaster or could have started a war, the stakes feel surprisingly small, like very small in comparison. And
That's because of the director.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not even one
no,
mention of
it's
Canada.
the director, the writing, the scripts,
Yeah.
everything else that came with it. So it's true, like the captain goes down the ship, but if you had guys not operating the engines well, and you guys weren't taking care, and you made the ship out of cardboard, ain't much a captain can do when his ship can easily be destroyed. So
Yeah.
I think the burden goes to everybody. It goes the most to the director, but the success as well as the failures goes with everyone.
I've seen Tyler Perry movies where the set design looks bigger and vaster than this White House. The Tyler Perry shows I've seen, the White House looks way bigger.
Damn, man, come on, that's
mean.
Damn, man.
No, this felt small when they were in like the little blue room when they were talking. They're trying to make it look like an Oval Office too. When he was at the desk, when he was at the podium having a little meltdown, he kicked the podium over.
That's it. Yeah, the CGI in the background. That really
and it also didn't help that like you could tell that these were different shots from like reshoots probably because none of the shots were like integrated too. It was just really weirdly filmed and you could see, especially that Rose Garden scene, like you could really tell. That that this was edited together from different takes, and there wasn't that there wasn't the scale because like I mean I don't know if you've ever been to the White House. I haven't. I've been outside of it, but I've not been to the Rose Garden. But like seeing it on TV, it always looks like there's a lot more to it. They could have done something.
We'll get you in the White House, Andrew. We'll get you a Medal of Honor, man. We'll get you in there, man.
The White House before they stopped the tours. I did the White House a long time ago.
Yeah.
No, the last time I was nearby it, I was lost. I needed directions, and I saw two guys with guns standing outside of it. So I grabbed my oldest, was like 4 or 5 at the time, put them in front of me, and walked up to them asking for directions. And they're pointing their guns at me, telling me like back off. I'm like, I just need to know where the street is. Like with my child in front of me. Like, don't shoot me.
Elon Musk had the child in there a little bit.
Well, I figured that would like disarm them, a bit. Like just let me ask a question.
Yeah.
Don't shoot my kid, please.
But yeah, so for this, I mean, I give it just a kind of a lowish stream it for me. I think it's, as far as their worst thing, I think it's better than the Marvels. I think it's better than the Eternals, but that's not really saying much. So if I just give it kind of a low stream it. Casey, what will be your final thoughts and rating for Brave New World there?
I think Anthony Mackie carried this movie on his back. The actors all did a great job. There's a bare bone great story in this movie, but it's just so messy and so cheaply put together that the editing was bad. The directing was very just bland, and it just felt like I was watching like a whatever type of show on ABC or Fox 29. The intrigue was good, which kept me interested in wanting to see what unravels from the story, but the payoff wasn't as good as I was hoping it would be. With a movie like this, where it's spy type of stuff, you would think the twist would be something bigger, but this was doomed by their confidence in the movie and burned by the trailers that they put out there. So I wouldn't recommend. I couldn't tell my friends and family to pay $20 to $30 to go see this in the theater. They would be pissed at me. So I couldn't tell my fam out there on the internet to go pay your hard-earned money to go see this in the theater. I would say, throw me a $5 and I'll throw you my password for the weekend. You could check it out then, stream it. But
okay.
I give this a 6 out of 10, and I'm being very generous because I'm giving it grace because I know I'm giving it an excuse because of all the back stuff that happened with the COVID and the arguments in this film and the restructuring and all this. I'm giving it grace, but I give it a 6 out of unfortunate, heartbreaking 6 out of 10.
6 out. Okay. So yeah, that'd be about stream it on our scale.
Definitely stream it.
And
it is better. It is as good as Marvels. It's on par with Marvels. If I saw this on streaming right away, it would be on par with Marvels to me. It'd be better than Eternals. Love and Thunder. I think it kind of matches up with Love and Thunder, where I'm like, it's not crap, but it's not amazing. It's not great. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I watched it once and I'm like, I'm good.
What about you, Andrew? What would be your final thoughts and rating?
I mean, if they gave us a a streaming show where it's just Anthony Mackie and Carl Lumbly at a barbecue, I would definitely watch that. But that's not what this movie is. You can see that in the few scenes they have together. If you're a Marvel fan, stream it. If not, just skip it.
Yeah.
Okay. Dust, what about you?
Yeah, this is a skip it. We try to be nice about it, but there's just so many problems inherently with this movie.
Yeah.
You're not really missing much, and by the time you come to the resolution, my main thing was, that's it. That's all this is. That's what the big mystery is. That's what we're wrapping up, and by the end of it, just go, oh well. So really, nothing really kind of changed. We're kind of in the status. We're in a weird status quo. Everything kind of worked out, and that's the end of it. There should be a consequence. A movie should be an event. I shouldn't be wondering, so why are there certain characters here? What's the purpose of them being here? Why is this
Right.
happening at this point in this time? And then going, oh, because the movie was shot 3 different times, and that's why. And if
Yeah.
you don't know that walking in, you're just going to, if you saw this in theaters, I would be completely understanding if about 20 minutes in you watch, or at least halfway, and you're like, I want my money back. Absolutely, could absolutely understand. You should never go to a movie like that. And even on streaming, I'm going to be perfectly honest, it's just, you look at the difference between The Winter Soldier. What's this movie's trying to be a watered down version of it. It's trying to capture that magic, but it just, you look at the difference between the cinematography, the effects, the sets, the acting, the writing, the cameos, everything together with it. The Winter Soldier demolishes, beats down like the Red Hulk, anything that this movie even tries to be. And the CGI, I just felt so bad for the people working on it because they're getting crunched. They have to do this, and they have no choice about it. And for that reason alone, unfortunately, and the many, many myriad of the reasons we brought up, I just can't give it anything more than skip it. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. I don't hate it. There's just no reason to see it, even on a streaming. You can just kind of skip it. You're not really missing much. On the bare bones of a curiosity, and as a Marvel fan, then it's a low stream it. For everyone else that wasn't that much interested in, to begin with, this is skip it. You're not missing much.
Yeah. It's a shame because, like I said, I think Anthony Mackie, some of the crew there, a lot of the crew, they deserve better than this, deserve better than the output there. But with all the stuff that kind of went on there, it kind of got the product we did there. So, So I give it a low stream it. KC, he gives it kind of
low stream.
Low stream.
low stream.
Andrew gives, hey, if you're a Marvel fan, maybe you'll think it's somewhat decent, give it a stream it there. But if not, you probably skip it. Same thing with Dustin.
Yeah.
He just says outright kind of skip it there as well. So that was our thoughts on Captain America: Brave New World in theaters now. All right, I will head out of here. Thank you guys. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you for having
guys.
us. I
Hey,
much
thank
appreciate you coming on, having spending your time with us. KC, where can people find you? What you got going on? What you got coming up next, man?
Tell the people.
The Back and Out podcast is coming back sooner than you think. You can find me on Twitch, TikTok, YouTube at DJ K to the C, or search The Back and Out. We're on Facebook. We got our fan page there where it's popping off, the Back and Out podcast fan page, where people are dropping jokes, dropping information. I think you're in there too, right?
Yes, I am.
You get your post on in there. Yeah, so it's a good time in there. Join us in there. We're on Instagram. Also follow my partner Akil at Akil G Comedy. He's growing. He's trying to do his thing. He's doing his thing with the comedy stand-up. So go support him also. Yeah.
That's
there it is.
Thirst right here. I see you thirsty. Good stuff there.
Oh, go to the fan page. Go to the fan page. That's our posting one.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but yeah. No, I appreciate that. So check me out there. I do gaming. I do DJing on Twitch. Have a good time. Right now I'm playing Call of Duty, killing that, and I'm doing the DJ thing too. So
got here Back in the fan page right here. You can check it out.
Yep.
Fun group. All great people in here. Got that. Awesome stuff there. Andrew, where can people find you? What you got going on? What you got coming up next, man?
Yeah, right now, I'm, we're back on Ben Burgess, which is nice to be back from break and having fun over there. I know I got a couple things that I can't talk about, so there's that, which is never fun whenever you're at being asked, because like cool things are around the corner. But stay tuned. I might be hosting movies in person at a local
Nice.
theater, so just stay tuned for that.
So this is Give Them an Argument with Ben Burgess, where Jay Andrew can make appearances on there.
Yeah, I do all the artwork and sometimes produce some of the segments.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, got some great stuff there. And us there, Afternoon Tune. I'll get a stream coming up this Monday. I'm going to be doing a spoiler talk there for Captain America: Brave New World, all the stuff that we really can get into depth there, even though really this movie ain't that much depth to it. But Nick is going to be joining me there, doing that, and I'm going to discuss State of Play there, which was the PlayStation event that happened. A lot of big trailers that dropped for that.
That was good.
Yeah, so that was good there. A lot of great trailers there. So that is what's Monday. That's on the docket there, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Hope to be back there with Dusk, with Nick there this upcoming Friday there. The Monkey, I think, releases next week. So I'm eager to check that out. That's the new, I think his name is Osgood Perkins there. That's the new, film from him. I loved Long Legs. He did Long Legs.
Nice.
So it's a new movie from him. Looks fun.
Okay.
Looks really great there. I'm gonna go ahead and go raid out and raid Kara Fly there. Again, thank you to everybody that showed up. Thank you, Rated M for Immaturity there. Thank you to Derpy Entertainment there. Thank you, Terry Thompson, for the lurk. Very much appreciated. So with you guys, are you so is the main thing you are looking forward to Fantastic Four? Would say that'd be the main Marvel movie you're looking forward to this year, or Thunderbolts, or what?
Daredevil.
Daredevil? Okay, you got Daredevil.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they can
I hope it's great.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah,
like,
'cause-
come on.
They're doing,
A little nervous about Daredevil though, but
Yeah.
I
That's
think
the one I'm most excited for.
They fixed my problems with Kingpin and Hawkeye and Echo, which I just rewatched Echo and I forgot how much of a drag that is. Like, there's so much I love about it, and then like it's so much that they didn't need in that series.
what
Like,
you didn't
like-
love the scene where he gave her eye things so she could see people just hand gesturing
Oh,
to
the
get
hand
the
gestures,
sign
yeah.
language instead of just giving her the ability to just see subtitles.
Well, I mean, like the thing is, my main thing about the Echo series is what made Echo cool in the comics is deafness was her superpower.
Right.
Like she was a physical mimic, so she could,
I was
like,
being
if she
facetious,
sees
by the
something,
way.
she could do it.
Yeah, I know.
And she could read lips, so like
Yeah.
she was pretty self-sufficient.
yeah, she could.
And-
Yeah. I
And
agree.
And it's an actor, so you know.
Yeah,
and I know that
she
they
could read
actually
the
found
script and-
a deaf actor who was Native
Mhm.
American, who honestly, like, she was a little out of her depth to star in something. She was great as an
yeah.
ensemble in Hawkeye and
Yeah, she was.
but like as a lead, she's not there yet, and
No.
maybe one day, but just and even with the cast, I mean, Graham Greene, was killing it. Like
Yeah, they
every
could have
time
held
she showed
on to
up-
that idea and brought it out later. They didn't need to like rush it out to the people.
Yeah, and
You know,
but like they fixed Kingpin though. Like
Mhm.
Kingpin's voice was too high and reedy in the original Daredevil series.
Hmm.
Even though I liked the performance, I just thought like the voice just didn't quite sit well. And then they gave him the great gravelly voice.
Yeah.
So, and I'm just like, okay, I'm feeling this now. And then they also shot him to make him look bigger, like they should have done with
Yeah.
Sabra. Like they could do it. They also make Danny Trejo look bigger than he actually is. I mean, he's a short king, but
Sure.
yeah, he's like 5'6".
Right, but he also has muscle and a body frame that you believe.
Yeah.
Hold on,
Like
you talking
height-
about me
height
now or
camera
what?
difference can only do so much. That's
I got
part
a
of the
little something,
equation.
Well, yeah. I mean, they found Danny Trejo after he got out of prison on Muscle Beach.
Damn right he
so,
did.
Oh,
And
for
we
real?
love Uncle Dan.
Yeah, no, big Danny Trejo fan here.
Do you guys like the Spider-Man cartoon? You watching that? You like that?
I'm loving it. Honestly, I'm loving it.
I can't wait to start. I've been like cramming my Marvel movies before this, so I could just
let it build. It's been building up pretty good with the episodes that are out now, but I had my doubts with the cartoon style. And
know, I'm
coming,
digging the bits, though,
I like it because it pays tribute to the original cartoon with the cartoon style. So all the villains have that old school drawing look. Like
Yeah,
you'll
that
see
was,
guys and you'll see their
Gatsby,
face
I
with the
think.
glasses.
I
bowl
think it was
cut.
the original artist, right? For the old cartoon was Ralph Baskey, who
Okay, I don't know.
rotoscoped the Steve Ditko comics.
Okay, yeah, it
He's
looks
the guy
just
who
like
did he did
Heavy Traffic.
yeah, he did Heavy Traffic.
Heavy
he did
Traffic.
Wizards.
He's done a bunch.
Yeah.
He did the
Okay.
Lord of the
World.
Rings movie.
nice. Yeah, it's a really
Yeah.
good take on Spider-Man and really
Yeah,
good
he-
up to date style.
very
Yeah,
famous
he's
guy.
retired now. So, but like
Prince the
this,
Cat.
if you're talking about the old stuff from the '60s, that's what he's.
Yeah.
That was the animator.
Yeah.
Like he went on to do some really cool stuff, and like,
Yeah.
this is also like heavy Ditko influence. I can't wait to dig into it because like
Yeah, so it feels like
Ditko's
that.
like-
Then it goes like this from the old school style, and then they do like 3D. You know, so it's really, really cool what they do with it. And I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, it's ugly," but when you're watching the episode after episode, the story is so good that the art pays off.
I mean, Ditko's stuff was always ugly, so like that's fine.
Exactly.
But there's a beauty to his ugliness, and
Yeah, like the villains
know.
have hard faces, like the old
Oh.
60s, 70s bad guys. Like they actually have that look. Like if you see Osborn, the way I know they made him black now, but he still has that old school Osborn look. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
That's how
no.
the villains look in this too. When you see
Yeah.
a villain, you're like, "That's a villain. That's
No,
a villain."
Ditko knew how to make those faces, and it's just
Yeah, just
that's
intimidating, hard faces.
yes, like
Um,
Spider-Man's best villains are the Ditko villains.
Yeah.
All right, people, head out of here and stay
Okay.
tuned.